Hello friends, welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans, the planner channel that can't tell you the upcoming plans because she's so far behind that they're already in the past. Yes, that's right, live from my planner. It's Saturday night and we're doing a plan with me. Bear with me, y'all. Please try to bear with me. Okay, this is what was last week. Almost 2 weeks ago at this point, being honest here, but this was last week. So, if you have not been following along, last Saturday on June 1st, I ran the Fargo Marathon in Fargo, North Dakota. It was a wonderful, awesome time, but we came back from our annual trip out to Central Coast in California. I worked Monday and Tuesday. As soon as I was done with work Tuesday, I came home, picked Layla up, got in the car, drove to Cleveland. The next day we drove to Madison, Wisconsin. Thursday we made it to Fargo. Friday all day and Saturday all day we were in Fargo. All I did was run a marathon. Sunday we drove to Milwaukee, and then Monday we drove home. So it has been a lot. It's been good, but it's been a lot, which is what brings us to this week. We're planning the week of Monday, June 3rd through Sunday, June 9th on Saturday, June 8th. So I'm going to just tell you what's happened this week as we go through. I wanted to do it because I felt like I was making a point to myself to do the planner, even if it was this late, you know? It was just building a consistency of doing the planner every week because I felt like if I didn't do the planner this week, that was a slippery slope to last year when I wasn't doing the planner, and doing the planner helps. All right, we're going to talk about plans. We're going to talk about the marathon. We're going to talk about Shark Week. I don't know if it's Shark Week. I just chose, it's not just sharks. We got Nemo. The hammerhead shark is my favorite shark. Does everybody have a favorite shark? My favorite shark is a hammerhead shark because of the hammerhead shark that appeared in the movie Joe versus the Volcano, which was one of my favorite movies of all time. We got little manatees. Okay, and so then we have, these are both from Simply Gilded, these little washi tapes. This is Stuck Together Studio. It's actually the same shop that I used. This kit turned out super cute. Was like the Universe kit or something, because it says trust me, I know what I'm doing from the Universe. Just what I needed last week to get my brain right. Same shop, it's the Stuck Together Studio, which I am trying really hard to always remember to link the shops that I use below in the comments. If I ever forget one, let me know, shout it out, and I will add it in there. But I'm trying my best to remember to do that. What I need to do, my next step that I want to do, is to remember to post my planner on Instagram more, because I love seeing people's planners on Instagram, and I want to post mine on there. So anyway, these are washi tapes from Simply Gilded. We have these little manatees that are so cute. Excuse you. That's my dog's Facebook page that's going off like that. Okay, not my own. Okay, so we have, these are both from Simply Gilded. So we have little manatees, and then the other one is like generic sea creatures, a variety pack of sea creatures. So it's just been, oh, look at all these little shark stickers. Oh my god, that's so cool. There's manatees, there's a lobster, there's a crab. Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, it's been crazy, y'all. It has been, I don't know, life has been a lot lately. In a good way for the most part. I cannot find my washi. There it is. No? Yes. Okay, yes, there it is. It's been in a good way mostly, but it's also been just like exhausting. And I am very glad to have 6 days off coming up. So I only have 6 days off because my partner and I are swapping days because it's Davecation, and the Blossom show in Cuyahoga Falls is Tuesday. That would be my work week. So I needed off for Davecation, and it worked out perfectly because she needed off the previous week for Eid. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, E-I-D. I have only seen it spelled and not heard it out loud, so I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But so then that worked out perfectly. I was like, well, we'll swap days. So I'm off 6 days. I'm working 7 days right now. I'm in a 7-day stretch. I'm off 6 days, and then I'll work 8 days, and then I'm off 8 days. So that's how we made it work, and I'm very happy. She's the best. She's very flexible. We had a meeting pop up like at the very last minute, and it happened to be on my day to work, and they were like, try to see if you can swap. And I was like, I don't even know. But they're like, if you can't swap, then if your partner can come to the meeting. And I was like, dude, what do we do? And she was like, I'll just go. It's no big deal. And I was like, I I love you. I am so glad that we found each other. So if you are new here, hello, I am a pharmacist. I work 7 on, 7 off at work. I'm a retail pharmacist, and I just got my work partner of 5 years, just got a work from home position in May, and so she left me so she can be home with the babies more, which I understand, and I was afraid that I would not have another partner. And I found somebody, and we randomly met at a work meeting of all places, and she was looking for a new store, and I was like, girl, I have a new store for you. And so it's working out amazingly. So the universe, remember when I was like, the universe said, trust me, I know what I'm doing? The universe did. So things are like okay, but things are very hectic. They're okay in a very hectic way right now. So the marathon was great. It was not like hot. Okay, so just a brief discussion here. I ran Whitefish last May in Montana, and I was trying to do the marathon, obviously, and I had to drop at the half because I started having heat exhaustion symptoms, and I have been like scarred for life ever since. And I realized like this week when I was running Fargo that I was like, this is now my second marathon that I've run since Whitefish, and I've finished both of the other ones that I've attempted after that. But every time that I'm going out to run these marathons, I'm running whatever marathon I'm running, and I'm also running Whitefish again in my head, and I'm like, I need to get out of that. Because it really worried me that like, I started getting like very dizzy, I started getting headache, and I started getting goosebumps. It was like 84 degrees, and it was like in direct sun. And there was also an air quality alert because that was when the Canadian wildfire started last year. So it was like a recipe for me not feeling good. And it was the right thing to do to drop out. But like, you know, when you drop out from something like that, as opposed to like, you know, your arm fell off or something like that, that's like very obvious, you constantly go, maybe I should have stuck with it. Maybe I could have kept going. Maybe I, you know, and like, no, I could have really gotten seriously hurt. And like, so it made me very about things, about heat, running in heat. And my marathon, and in November I ran the Charlotte, North Carolina marathon, and that was very, very warm. It started out very cold and it got very warm by the end. And this one was warm from the beginning. Now, thankfully it didn't have the humidity that Whitefish did. And that was part of why I did better with it. But I have to remind myself that like I learned from it. And so I made changes to my race strategy. So, okay, I do run walk almost exclusively now, and I'm gonna put this Bubby up here because he's my favorite. I want him to be up in the corner. Look at him. He's so cute, little hammerhead. These little manatees this is like such a cute kid. I don't know. I've been holding on to this for like 2 years. I don't know why I haven't used it. Anyway, Fox, focus. Come on, get the ADHD under control here. So I made what I do run walk. And so what I do, like typically our run group, we do 30-30 or 60-60. So you run 30 seconds and then you walk 30 seconds or 60 or, you know. And typically for a race, I start out with 90-30. So I run 90 seconds and then I walk 30 seconds. And that, like at the beginning of the race, is pretty good for me because you have your adrenaline, race day adrenaline, and so you are, you know, you have more energy to start. So then I will like say, you know, make a goal of like, oh, at this point I'm gonna change to whatever, and then usually like mile 18 or 20, that's when I'll switch to 90-30, 90 seconds walking and 30 seconds running, if all goes according to plan. It was very, very hot because it was direct sun, and it was not humid, and in the shade it was wonderful, and it was breezy in the shade, and that was like probably like another thing that made it much better. But I ended up having, like, what I did was I adjusted, and I was like, okay, be realistic. What's actually going to happen here based on what you want to happen? And I was like, okay. So I made adjustments, and I ended up dropping my interval earlier. And I actually saw like somebody there were multiple people who were taken off by the medics because of the heat. And one, I was like debating if I was going to drop my interval faster. And then I was like, you know, it's that balance as a runner of like, oh, am I being too easy on myself and like not challenging myself enough? Can I push myself harder, or am I pushing myself too hard and being stupid? And like I was, going back and forth, like, because it was much sooner than I wanted to drop my interval from 90 to 30. I ended up dropping it to, I was debating dropping it to 60-60 first for a little bit. And I was like, maybe it's too early. I still like have strong legs and I shouldn't do that. And then I saw somebody getting like chest compressions on the side of the course. And then he actually was like, he woke up and was awake, and it was so creepy. So I don't know if they like shouldn't have been doing those, or if, I don't know what happened, but it freaked me out. And I was like, okay, that is the sign there, take it seriously. Don't be a hero out here. Like, and there were a couple times that volunteers were like, we would check in when we were at an aid station and be like, oh, what, some of the mile markers were not out. I'd be like, oh, what mile are we at this point? And they'd be like, oh yeah, just be careful. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Somebody just got taken off by the medics again. And we're like, okay. So the important thing is that I finished. I toughed it out. I didn't feel terrible. I started to get nauseous, and so I had to walk more at like mile 18. I just walked basically the last 8 miles because I started really having issues where like when I was running, I was feeling nauseous, and it worked fine. It absolutely worked fine. I still finished. I finished like 6 hours, a little over 6 hours and 10 minutes, which was probably my slowest marathon so far. But I learned my lessons in Whitefish. Like in Whitefish, I was like so bored. It was such a boring course. Like I do not recommend it. The Whitefish half marathon. If you're doing the half, is probably fine. I made it through okay, and if you knew you were done in 13 miles, maybe it would be better. But it was very, very boring course. Not a lot of crowd support. They ran out of water super early. They just didn't seem prepared for that heat. It was an 8 a.m. start, which like for a marathon in the warm weather, you don't want. 8 a.m. is way too late. That's an hour too late to start. So lots of things that could have been better about that. And I went out too fast because I was bored, and I was like, I just want to get this over with. And that probably didn't help either. But the important thing is that I learned from it. I learned how to make better adjustments. I made adjustments in Charlotte when it got hot, and I made adjustments now in Fargo when it was hot from the start. And like, I gotta give myself credit for these things. And I don't. I go like, oh, but maybe it'll happen again. Maybe it'll happen. And maybe it will. Maybe I will DNF another marathon someday. I hope I don't. But anyway, running, people always talk about like, oh, isn't it hard on your knees? Oh, isn't it like, how do your legs hold up? Oh my God, don't you feel like so sore afterwards? And like, yes, the physical part of running is one thing, but the mental part of it is a whole other thing. The balance of running and distance running is that many of us distance runners do it because we have mental health issues. And if we don't run, it hurts our mental health. But you have to also get through these mental struggles. And so I don't know, maybe it's because something we have more control over is like the mental struggles of the race, and that makes you feel better because like sometimes your mental health, your ADHD or depression or anxiety, you don't have control over those things. I don't know. Somewhere out there, a sports psychologist wrote a book about runners and why we are the way that we are, but I don't know. This is my speculations. So, okay, I put down the basics here. So Monday we drove home. So let's see, what am I gonna do? What things did we stop and see? We stopped to see the otter. Oh, it's the Global Wellness Day. Oh, I didn't know that. Speaking about wellness, I went and did a little walk. It's been I don't know. I just have been emotionally all over the place today. We've been so busy at work, and I haven't had like a free second to think. And okay, I'm just pulling up my list of what we did on the trip. So first thing we did was we stopped at the Milwaukee. So we stayed in Milwaukee on Sunday night. The first night we drove Pittsburgh to Cleveland, then Cleveland to Madison, then Madison to Fargo. Then on the way back, we did Fargo to Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee to home. We did it in 2 days on the way home. And husband flew out. So I drove out with Layla Grace, just the two of us. And then husband flew out and met us. And he came to my race because he's been at every single one of my finish lines. So this was Milwaukee Lighthouse. And so then we drove home together, which was nice because I was like reading this book that I was obsessed with, and then I gave it to him and he was obsessed with it. It's called The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. It is so good. If you like thrillers, and it's British, if you like British thrillers, which I think is a specific kind of thriller to like, cannot recommend it enough. It's amazing. So first thing we did, we stopped at the Milwaukee Lighthouse to see that, and then when we were driving back, we stopped at this like, wait, was this the Giant Otter? No, the Giant Otter was the day before, huh? Oh, so it was a beautiful day. I wish we'd had more time to explore Milwaukee and Madison. That is my like one regret. But the important thing is that we saw a new cryptid. I will put his picture in here. This is the Beast of Bray Road. So yes, we drove like 40 minutes out of our way because I had to see this. He's in Wisconsin. There's a road called Bray Road. It's a little country road. And he's like a werewolf little buddy. And let me not spell this wrong here. And a smiley face because it was so exciting. So if you know me, you know that I love to visit all the cryptids that have statues or places that you can go visit about them. So he's like a little werewolf buddy, and they have this like this house on Bray Road. You can drive by their house and visit it, and he is sitting outside, and he's got a little enclosure that he's kept in, and he has a little skeleton who's got him on a leash, and then he's got a pet cat, and it's an orange cat, which if you know about orange cats, yeah, that's what he picked, an orange cat. So he's like this ferocious werewolf that has this like doofy orange cat, and I love everything about it. So it was absolutely worth. I was just so excited. So another Wisconsin cryptid visited. If you were here last year or the year before, you know we've already seen the hodag twice, and I love the hodag, and I would see the hodag anytime I'm near Rhinelander, Wisconsin, every time without fail. Well, these are little 3 thingies. Oh, that's cute. Okay. So then what else can I put on here that we did that day? Oh, we stopped at the gardens. Okay, we went to, I'll do that in this color here, the Crider's World Fair Gardens. So I don't have a sticker that'll be big enough to fit these words, so it's in Indiana, Illinois. Where are you, Bubby? Must be Indiana, because the next picture I have is Ohio. So it's in Indiana. And, oh yeah, because Indiana Dunes has all the World's Fair stuff. It's the Chicago World's Fair, but some of the things from, I think it's 1904, have made their way into Indiana. So if you've ever gone to Indiana Dunes National Park, they have the modern homes. It's really a cool thing. If you like architecture and houses at all, go see that for sure if you go to Indiana Dunes. Indiana Dunes in general is pretty cool. And we're going to be going there at the end of the month for Dayvacation. But then they have this little garden, and it's just like, yeah, a few miles off the freeway, and it's like a nice place to get out and stretch your legs and walk around. You can just walk through it. It's like maybe takes 30 minutes to walk through the whole thing if you stop and like see all the different gardens that they have there. It's dog friendly, so Layla Grace was able to go, and it was very, very beautiful, and just a nice little place to stop. And then we finally made it home. So we'll put that in here. We'll put made it home. Made it home. And then we went to the Cage for dinner. We made it in time to go to our regular Monday night spot for dinner. Okay. And then what I was going to put here, I finished that book. So husband drove so that I could finish the book. And then I was like, the next night, I was like, you need to start reading this. So he started reading it. I think he started reading it Tuesday. And then he was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then Wednesday night at like 1:30 in the morning, he woke me up and was like, babe, I stayed up all night. Or it was like, no, it was later than that. It might have been like 3 in the morning. He's like, I stayed up all night. I had to finish the book. I had to know how it ended. And I was like, I told you it was so good. So again, super recommend that. So let's put on here the next day. Put these down. Oh gosh, put these on straight. So then Tuesday was like catch-up day. Tuesday was like, I have to get my life together because I go back to work for 7 days. So it was turn your phone off Tuesday. You can almost read the word Tuesday there. Tuesday. I keep thinking I hear thunder, but it's like planes or something. So I was working on editing a video. We can put this thing here. And like 6 months ago, Fox was like, I'm gonna schedule a dentist appointment and be really like on top of things. And then even if we get home late, then I'll have time to go to the dentist. And I was like, why did I do this to myself? So I was setting up my bullet journal. I edited a video. And then I was updating planner. Okay. And then I had my dentist appointment, which went pretty well. No new cavities, but I unfortunately have a filling that's like old as hell that I have to have replaced. Womp womp. The worst. I haven't been old enough to have fillings that need to be replaced until just now. So I have to go back in July, unfortunately. But I never had that done where it's not like there's nothing wrong with my tooth. Like I didn't do anything bad. It's just that the filling is old and they just only last for so many years. So it's probably from when I was like a teenager, you know? So I don't know if that hurts. You know, maybe it's fireworks. Is it the season where people are starting the fireworks nonsense again? Okay. And then I did grocery store. And then I sat in traffic. Okay. And then we were trying to unpack a little bit so I can put... Oh, these are itty... Oh. Oh, here's a little box. It's like a moving box, but we'll put it here for unpacking some. Oh, and laundry. That's right, we're doing laundry. So much laundry. When I travel, I really like to get places that have laundry, if I can. But unpack some, because we didn't finish. It's still not done. Don't even get me started, but there's not one for laundry, is there? There's workout. There's a t-shirt. There's cleaning. Oh, look, here's a little grocery sticker. Boop. Cute. Okay, focus, Fox, come on. I gotta go make dinner. It's Saturday night, so I don't have to be up super early tomorrow, but I do still like to get up early in the morning so that I have time to myself. I don't have to be at work until 11, but okay, so this is laundry. I like to get places that have laundry if I can, but we were staying in like a hotel, like at Kimpton, and they don't have laundry. So I had to do all the laundry when I get home. That's like the worst thing, when you come home and you have chores and like your vacation's over and you're tired and then you have chores. Oh, the struggle. Okay, so then we did laundry and then I was, editing a video. And then we were back to the cage for dinner again. Mondays and Tuesdays, that's where we have dinner because it's the best and then we don't have to cook. So let's we'll put a sticker in for that. There. Okay. I think I'm gonna wrap this up, even though I've only shown you 2 days. I'm sorry, it's the same color there. Oh, we did meal prep too. Let me actually put that in there. I forgot husband did the meal prep. Make sure that I give credit for good things that we did. And it's actually a delicious meal prep. It's like Asian chicken and broccoli. Then we put it with rice. And then we made this recipe. It's like Asian cucumbers. Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It is so good. Christy made it once when we had a wine night. It was like we do our wine nights as a potluck. And I have made it like dozens of times since. It's so good. Okay. I know there's hardly anything filled out here, but you heard about my Monday and my Tuesday. You heard about the race. You heard about running and how I'm just bonkers. I'm feeling lately a little bit all over the place. I have not been keeping up with my HB90, and I know that is part of what's bothering me. I'm gonna put it over here while I'm talking. This shark is kind of how my brain feels right now. If I had to describe my brain as one of the animals that I've put in my planner this week, it would be this shark, because this is kind of how it feels. It feels like, like a lot, but I'm getting there. I did my planner, late though it was, and I'm going to do next week's planner on Monday, okay? I've been keeping up with my bullet journal memory keeping every day. I've been keeping up with my habit trackers. We meal prepped. I have to get the chaos of the bedroom under control. So my plans, I even like made a little like next week, like list so that I can, when I think of things this week, I can put my next week things on here and have them. And actually, that's right, I wanted to move that into here. I wrote that on here with the thought, I'm gonna move it into here once I do my actual planner. So let's put, this one's pretty. Yeah, look at that color. Okay, I'm gonna put, do I have a sticker that says next week? Let's see. Little things work out happy meal. I still, y'all, 7 years of creative paper planning, and I still don't know what little things means. And no one seems to know to tell me. So I think we're all in this together of not knowing what little things actually mean. Look, there's next week. Okay. So big mood, to-do list. So I've just been feeling like I can't get my head above water, and it's not as bad as it was. And I have to remind myself that when I start to feel overwhelmed, remind myself, like, you are better than what you were doing before. Like, you have a better handle on things. You have better control over things. You are working with your ADHD symptoms. You are not going to just get overwhelmed and quit everything. Like, I have not. I have done my planner every single week. There is one week that I didn't fill out my goal planning. This is the week. And I don't know why I was so motivated this week. That's kind of funny now looking back at it. This is the week that I was like super excited because I was off the first 7 days in the month and I was like, I'm going to be so productive. And then I ended up having like a mammogram and my annual doctor, my every 6 month doctor's appointment. And I had a lash appointment. I had a hair appointment. And like the whole week just got away from me. But with the exception of that, like, look, if I flip through this, the pages are filled out. Like, this is monumental for me with my ADHD. Like, and I need to give myself credit for that. I need to meet myself where I am, give myself credit that I'm showing up and I'm doing things. Like, even though this was late, I'm doing it. I'm putting it in here. I'm making a plan. I have my little next week notes that I can add to. I went through and I did all of my, updated each day what we did so I don't forget about it. Like, a big way that I use my planner, and I don't know if this is because I have ADHD and I have a hard time putting down concrete plans sometimes. Like, as you can see, like, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, so I didn't even think about writing anything here on Sunday. I know that I have to work, but other than that, like, I don't know what I'm going to do in the evening, or, sometimes making concrete plans makes me stressed because it's like, well, what if they fall through, and then what do I do? So part of what I love about my planner is to write down things that I did, like I just did now, like all these things that we did. So when I go back and look at this in 5 years and I'm like, oh, that's right, we started with the lighthouse that day and then we saw the new cryptid. Like, I use it in part as a memory keeping kind of thing. And I love that about it. That's part of how my planner works for me, is not just putting in the things that are going to happen that I'm going to do, but putting in the things that I did so that I have a record of that day, so that that day stays and doesn't get lost in the, like, I can't remember things part of the ADHD. So that's my little aside there. But so I am going to stop here just because I don't want this video to be too long. And then tomorrow morning I will have time to fill in. Sometimes it's hard for me to fill in also on camera. Like these days, it's like, okay, I did specific things and I know what I did. But like when you look, let's look at a day, for example, like a work day is often let's see, these are my 2 vacation weeks here. Okay, yeah, so a work day is often a day where I'm like, how do I fill in the space? Because I like to fill in a little bit of everything. So I put in things like, oh no, we walked into chaos. It was a rough day this morning. And then the next day, still so behind. And then it was a little bit wet out. It rained that day. And I went for a run in that. I remember that it was like raining while I was running. So, but sometimes on the fly when I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, what did I do that day? And so it takes me a minute to think about it and add it in there. So that is part of why I plan after the fact, after I put everything down and film it. Because those kinds of things, like to think about what I did Wednesday, it's like, well, I went to work. We were super behind all day. It was a crazy day. I was having a lot of pain. The only thing that, my legs felt fine, my muscles felt great, everything felt okay, except that I had a couple pretty bad blisters from the heat. And I had one that was every time I stepped down, it was causing pain. Wednesday, 10 hours on my feet at work. every time I stepped down, it was hurting. So I was like stepping on it funky ways. And so my hamstring started hurting. So I was supposed to go to dance class that night. And I was like, I can't put full weight on this foot. And then I was like, well, maybe we can go for a like gentle walk. And even like that, my hamstring was feeling bad because I'd been maneuvering it funky. So those are things I'm going to put on there. But like, it just took me a second to think them all through. And it's hard for me to talk about them while I'm writing them down. So that's why I end up putting things after the fact, even when they're already past. But anyway, long story over here. This is my kit for the week. And thank you so much for sticking with me. I am doing my best. Tomorrow, I'm going to get back on track using my HB90 planner. Q3 planning is coming up. If you have not done the HB90, I'm going to have my video out probably by Tuesday at the latest this week about my Q2 setup. So check that out. Get you motivated. It starts next Sunday on the 16th. So definitely do the boot camp if you haven't. If you haven't done the boot camp, you can redo it. I'm going to be redoing it every time. So excited about that. We're going to get back on track. We have 6 days off. I have to make it through 3 more days of work, and then I can just get my life together, right? That's how this works. Okay, I will see you in a couple of days for my next planner. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you are new here. And as always, my friends, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I will see you in my next video.